Hi, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? So I bet there's a bunch of people out there that have the EBGBs, nervous for pitching today. Who's pitching today? And if you're not nervous, keep your hands up. If you're not nervous, keep your hands down. Yeah, I feel your pain. It's not easy presenting. So just to explain a little bit what I do, I work with students at USC. I'm a venture coach. So what we did here this weekend, I do this as a full-time job, meeting with students, seeing where you're lost at or where you need help at, and kind of just giving you homework assignments of where to go next. Being an entrepreneur helps out. So I met Erin years back, and she knew me when I first came up with my idea for Giggle Chips. Giggle Chips is a learning game for kids. It's to help inspire kids and empower parents in the world of STEM. So I created a card game that focuses on classic memory games, like integrating STEM concepts for kids 0 to 6 years of age. So presenting your idea, I still get nervous and wigged out whenever I think I have to present in front of anybody. It's just a normal feeling. This year, I pitched a lot to ABC, and I literally went through a 3-month pitching process once a week, every week for 3 months. It was insane. By having done all the homework that I need to do, it makes it easy when you have to pitch, because when people talk to you, they're looking for different stories. They're looking to see who your customers are, who this is going to work for. Show us how your product works. I want a demo and a video of this. Skype videos, like I want to see you and your daughter, in video, and how you present. So each week, I literally went through hoops, not getting a yes or no, of having to pitch our idea. Well, it's actual product, but pitching it to ABC. So after that 3-month process and going through an intensive social media background check and legal background check, we got accepted, and our show airs tomorrow before the Shark Tank. So you have an idea, a story to tell. How many of you, you're taking a shower, or you're like walking out the front door or driving around and just thinking like, what, that bothers me. I wish someone would fix that. Do any of you ever have those moments? Yeah. I have tons of those moments where that's broken. Like, why don't they put this little piece that does this? Or recently I'm graying out. So it's I need like shadow for my hair to put in there. And it's why don't people make a better product for that? Because I can't see my hairdresser in another month. So it's ideas like that, finding pain points and then talking to other people to see if they have those pain points, and then going from there. So when you have an idea, capture that and then see what you can do about that. When you have an idea, you need to make sure you write your message in 10 words or less, around there. And for me, that's hard because I'm very wordy, very talkative. So when I first started sharing my idea, I think it would just be a 10-minute idea to tell you, and then people are just listening and just trying to figure out what is your idea. But an idea should be described in around 10 words. So for Giggle Chips, it's a STEM learning game that inspires kids and prepares parents for the world of STEM. So just try to be as concise as possible. So when you ask them to repeat it back, they're able to repeat it back and not try to repeat a 10-minute story. So what goes on a pitch deck? A standard pitch deck is 10 to 12 pages. There's a lot of information that comes from the business model canvas. I'm not sure if any of you are not familiar with this. Are there people here that are not familiar with the business model canvas? Okay, so you need to look this up. If you Google it online, there's different types. This was designed by Steve Blank. He's a professor at Berkeley University, and this describes all of the business functions and activities that go within the life cycle of your business. So all the information that fits in these quadrants go in a pitch deck, go in a business plan. When you're talking to people and pitching your show, to the Shark Tank and they're asking you questions, they're going to ask you questions from this quadrant, that quadrant. So when you have a robust business plan and have answered all the questions, all the data that you're going to be giving back to people comes from this business model canvas. So the way this works, you have an idea and a problem to solve, but you have to know who are your customers that this idea is going to solve a pain point for. So yesterday, and I know in our group, we're talking about, we have an idea that's going to help journalism students or journalists in the world. So when you have that customer segment, you have to figure out what type of value you're going to bring to these people with your idea. Does your idea make things easier for people, faster, more convenient? Value propositions are adjectives where it describes the ease of use for the customer, of like how you're relieving these pain points, how you're making them feel happier in the day, inspired, what like brings them to a call to action. Channels, this is the way that you get the product to the customer. So for Giggle Chips, I sell through e-commerce and social e-commerce through Amazon. So that's my route here. And these other functions right here, key partners, key activities, key resources, these are the people that you work with to get your idea out there. So for myself, last year, I interviewed and surveyed over 1,000 people for Giggle Chips, which was insane. I gained like over 25 pounds in the process because I was just typing data, going places, but just gathering my data. And part of this was for the Small Business Development Corporation through a 10-week program. But I also started customer research with the National Science Foundation. And these agencies both asked for the same type of business model canvas here. So when I went to go talk to potential customers, I discovered key partners. And my key partners are child development educators, museums, after-school groups, speech pathologists, and finding people that would that might not be a direct customer for me and pay for things, but recommend my product to parents and early childhood educators. My key partners are people that I ask questions to, like what pain points do you see with early STEM learning? Do you know what STEM is, which is science, technology, engineering, and math? Do parents know what it is? What would you like to see? So going through this discovery last year, I was able to figure out by talking to customers, talking to partners, what people valued, what type of activities that they do, with these products, the cost structure. 2 years ago, I thought I was going to build an app, and everybody said, "Jen, your idea is great. Giggle Chips, it's physical. Make an app." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're all smart because you all love me, and they're kind of like mom to me." So when I went out to talk to people, all the parents said, "We don't pay for apps. Like, why would I pay for an app? I get free apps, like Sesame Street gives me a free app. All these other places give me a free app." So if I didn't do that customer discovery, I would have went through a pain point of spending a lot of time, engineering time, possible money of building something that nobody was going to pay for in there. And so having an assumption. So when you have an idea of how you're going to build out your product, make sure you talk to customers, key partners, because you want to see how they're going to pay for that and how you're going to make money. So yesterday we talked about customers and who are your customers. One of the important things to know is your market size. So say you have this idea for people that have jets or, space shuttles, like, maybe you only have like 4 potential customers. So your market size maybe are these big companies, or if your market targets parents, look at how many parents are within your community for your market size, and then you can look at how many parents are within the state, and then also the US. So a lot of investors look at those metrics to see if you understand how many customers you potentially have. So if you're not sure, or say like for the journalism project, like I would Google how many journalism students are there at so-and-so college, or like how many journalists are here, so start getting data so you could figure how many users are there. Are there 10 users, 1,000 users? And then you could start figuring out how much money you're going to be making. So if you have 1 million users that you're going to be charging $15.99 for a subscription, then you kind of have a general sense of like what my market size, my customer segments are going to pay for. So what are you selling? Be very clear, because I know even in our group, and I apologize for using us as an example, but we had a hard time drilling things down. And even with Giggle Chips too, as I was pivoting and thinking I was going into an app and then back into physical product, you want to make sure you're able to explain to people what it is that you're selling. It has to be crystal clear in your mind, so when you communicate it, it sounds crystal clear to the person at best. And this is always my favorite that I was talking about. Value props explain how your product creates ease of use for a person's life. So if you can't find like hair cream or spray that like takes out the gray out of your hair when you can't see your hairdresser, or if your child's trying to learn about robotics and there's not something that's age and stage related to a little kid and everything's geared towards 8th graders. Value props identify that, say if I found that hair product, it's convenient, it's fast, it's non-damaging, all these benefits that people would love. Or with the STEM product, that it's age and stage appropriate, that little ones will be able to understand. So it's the adjectives that describe what it is. So how do you make money? Does everybody today that's presenting know how they're going to make money? Yeah, is there anybody that doesn't know? Okay, and that's fine. Just make sure to talk to one of the mentors or helpers, and that's fine, because it takes a while. There's so many different business models out there, services, subscriptions, licenses. From my experience with a toy box, I met this whole group of toy inventors at a group that I belong to, Women in Toys, people that have been on the show that have been like lifetime toy inventors. So now they're talking to me about like, are you going to license your product? And I was like, what, like people do that? So as you get more involved with different types of networks that are similar to yours, you're going to meet people that could help you with this information out. So you always have to like present your idea to other people, especially when it comes to making money, because you have to find out from others how much are they going to pay for it, and then also find out from others like, how do you make money? Or I'm always Googling too, like last night, like how does GitHub make money? Like I didn't know. So just look it up and ask, because there are different types of models out there, and you'll be surprised, and a lot of this information is public on the internet. Investors want to know why to invest in your team. So if you're starting out and if it's just you, I've been there, it's kind of like a sad slide deck when it's just your face. So I found mentors, people to help me. So I had a score mentor, my colleague from the coding club that I belong to. So I asked them, I'm going through this process. Will you be my mentor in here as I'm working through this? So then when I pitched my idea, then I had depth to show that besides me, I also had an advisory board or mentors that were helping me too. So investors and groups like to see that a person's not carrying all of the weight by themselves, because it's impossible. And I've been there myself and grew a team, got rid of the team, grew a team again. And it's not easy. It's like dating and getting married. But investors want to make sure that the people that are in your team are solid and that are able to carry out different job functions. So if you're a technical company, you need to have your engineer, marketing person. For me, I have a person that studied social work and social entrepreneurship. I'm trying to build a social entrepreneurship model. I know nothing about it. So hello, I needed that social entrepreneur to help me get to my mission based. Yeah, finish strong. This is tough because you're nervous. Like I'm nervous right now. Whenever you start a presentation, you should have that one-liner of like what your product is about. So when you're finishing, always make sure that you bring up that main point to remind people. It takes people about like 3 times like for you to say something for them to remember sometimes. So just make sure to reinforce that closing statement. And then breathe. This is where I have problems. So I have this nice little breathing app on my watch. So even during the show when we were taping, I was just breathing, just inhaling, exhaling, pausing. If you get too hyper, don't drink too much caffeine. If you suffer from anxiety, don't drink too much water. Like there's these things, don't do that stuff, but just breathe and try to enjoy the process because you're going to be learning so much. And everybody that presents is nervous themselves. People that are judging, the easy thing here, they all tend to be looking for the same thing. So as long as you have your business model canvas covered, but just try to enjoy the process as much as you can. And then also speak up. And if you have an idea, share it. You know, that's your voice. That's your power. Don't let anybody ever take away your power. And, you know, I almost did that this year by not applying for the show for the toy box because I said, oh, well, I'm a toy inventor, but this isn't for me. And let me just like click and answer the questions to see what they want from toy inventors. So I answered the questions, not intending to apply, just because I was curious, thinking that it wasn't for me at all, and got a call back the following business day that like, we like your stuff, but you're missing part of it. You're supposed to email, and we want to hear back from you. So if you have an idea, share it. And if you think something's not for you, like get that out of your brain. Because my lesson learned was that even in the process of talking to one of the producers and then talking to the talent coordinator, I still don't think we're like the people that you're looking for. We're like novices in the toy industry. And they said, you're exactly what we're looking for. You're perfect. So when it comes to pitch competitions, opportunities to apply, you know, just apply to everything. And I think as women, sometimes we just discount ourselves and think like, okay, I don't have 100% of the requirements for this description here. I only have 80, and like what I said, it's like, well, I am, but they're not going to pick me. But then look what happened. I got picked, and then tomorrow I'm going to be on ABC. I'm in contract with Mattel right now, and I'm under contract with ABC for the next 4 years. So, and men, not, you know, just to talk about the gender gap, they could be like 40% qualified, and they're like applying for it and like already bragging about like, you know, how they're going to get this gig right away. So there is a difference. So don't, if you're like 40% more qualified, don't let those opportunities pass you by, because people that are looking for talent or an interesting idea want to hear from you. But the only way you get there is by presenting your idea and sharing it out there. So I think this is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, you can reach me at my email, or you can follow me on Twitter or Facebook and Instagram for my Giggle Chips page. And do you ladies have any questions?
No? Okay, well, thanks, Jen. Okay. Give it up for her. So we'll put the slide up again. If you have any questions about getting your pitch decks in, let us know. And I think Jen might be available to just hear your pitches if you want to practice with her or with your mentors or anyone else. And these are the lovely medals that you're going to receive for the winning team, so you can check those out too. So good luck, and don't forget presentations in by 11:30, and we'll start pitching at 12. Good luck.